Hello and welcome to the Bentleigh Report. It's April 2022. I'm still Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfitter.
Good to be back post-COVID. Been a while.
It has been a while. It's been like a big blur over the last couple of months, hasn't it? You kind of don't know where things are happening, but we seem to have an air of clear air in front of us, which is very exciting, and getting back to the things that are normal and we love to do.
Finally. Well, was it interesting? You look back on what happened in Bentleigh and surrounds through 2021, 2020, through lockdowns, through all of the darkness and dimness and misery, and somehow the property market still came through with shining colours.
Incredibly well, Gary. In fact, we've just spoken about over the last couple of days how there's new price records being continuously broken, and how the amenities of Bentleigh have continued to improve. And people are now paying similar money to live in Bentleigh, and even more on some occasions than what were previously perceived to be more expensive suburbs. And I just take that down to the amenities of the improved shopping strip in Centre Road, the state's best schools are in Bentleigh, and the transport options are significant, especially as people now get back into the city.
Look, it's true, and it's interesting having been basically centred and sort of operating from out of Caulfield since 1986. It was always interesting when we opened the business that there was always an aspiration for Caulfield sellers and Eastern Kilda sellers to a degree, and Elsternwick sellers and Caulfield South, to try to find someone from over north, from someone in Armidale and somebody in maybe Paran or South Yarra or Malvern to come to Caulfield, and never seemed that people in those suburbs really wanted to gravitate across. But what we're finding now, which is significant and interesting, is that the money that's coming into Caulfield and Caulfield South and Caulfield North is happening from McKinnon, Bentleigh, East Bentleigh, Ormond, Hughesdale. I mean, we've sold a property for $6 million from in Caulfield to a buyer who came from Hughesdale. Another one in the threes came from Hughesdale, which is never...
Moorabbin as well, Gary, and Cheltenham and Hyatt. There's sales every week in Hyatt for $2 million plus. So that's where the money's coming from.
It is a very, very changed environment. So for those of you that are sort of got your head stuck in that mentality that, it's the Malvern, Armidale, Toorak buyers that, we want to cross over down the road, just forget about it, because yes, occasionally they will gravitate across, understanding the price points and the better value here, but the people who are really paying top dollar so often here are the people coming from those further southern suburbs and southeastern suburbs. The COVID time, the lockdown time was pretty scary. We didn't know what to expect. We had JobKeeper help us and carry us through, but the property market really did hold up, and if anything, probably actually, it did grow significantly. You mentioned schools. It'd probably be interesting just at the outset of this edition to talk about how much of a premium, for example, is the McKinnon High School zone. Now, you're uniquely positioned. You're living and breathing Bentleigh and surrounds, and of course you're still selling in Caulfield and Caulfield South, and where clients know and love you. But let's talk a bit about how much of a premium do we think that the McKinnon High School zone offers.
So, Gary, I probably see two premiums for the McKinnon Secondary School Zone. The first is a price premium, and if there were two properties on the same street, and let's say the border was in the middle, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 20% is a realistic difference in price, and the average would be somewhere in the middle of that. Around 15%, I think, is a realistic difference in price to be in or out of that zone. The second premium is the amount of buyers that I notice are coming to homes that are zoned for McKinnon, as opposed to homes not zoned in McKinnon. So I'm seeing significantly more buyers, and it's not a thing where you can actually move them suburb to suburb. They actually just want to be in that zone. They don't care if they're in East Bentleigh, Ormond, McKinnon, parts of Carnegie and Murrumbeena that have been rezoned to the new zone. They just want to be in that currency of the McKinnon zones. There's a lot more buyers in that than the average market.
Let me ask you this. The median price of a home in the McKinnon zone would be?
Well, a block of land, say 650 square metres, is now selling for $2 million with a barely livable house on it.
Okay.
And a top-end home, we've now had evidence over $3 million in that zone.
Okay, so if $2 million is the median, let's just say,
and
it's a pretty significant median.
Absolutely.
If it is, then basically it's costing people $300,000 extra to be able to educate their children at McKinnon High. Now, if you take how many children you've got over the amount of years they're there, is probably not a bad investment, given what a private school will cost. So it's an
and they get to sell
exercise.
Out at the end of it, and recoup
and
their
nice
investment.
Gain. We're breaking new ground in Bentleigh and in Bentleigh East, and only last week we sold and a record sale at 8 Wood Street. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was an incredible home to start with. So congratulations to the original builder and the current vendors for presenting it the way they did. We looked at this home and thought it has a capability of reaching high twos. Maybe that was a big dream to hit $3 million because it's something that hasn't really been tested very often. And sure enough, we had an auction on a Thursday evening at 5 o'clock. We had a huge crowd. I'm not sure if we get some of the footage up on the screen behind us, but it looked like it sort of petered out a couple of times and thankfully kept kicking on when we thought it was going to stop, and sold for $3,281,000 with 5 bidders competing, which is the new record for a single home sold in Bentleigh, which we are very proud to hold.
So $3 million plus now in Bentleigh, and in Bentleigh, is it Bentleigh or Bentleigh East?
That was a Bentleigh, and that wasn't in the zone, so I can only imagine what it would have been if it was in the zone. And Jan and Ben did an incredible job of managing that campaign.
Beautiful home.
It was a beautiful home, and congratulations again to the owner and the very, very lucky buyer.
Another significant sale, Leon, also at the premium end of the market, 31 Barrani Street, Bentleigh East this time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, look, a really comfortable single-level home that was almost on 800 square metres of land, north-facing in the McKinnon Secondary School Zone, in the new McKinnon Secondary School Zone. So that's only a 15-month-old zone. I would estimate, Gary, if you're looking for price growths, 18 months ago, before this home was rezoned and before the market kicked on, I think you could have bought this home for about $1.25 million. We've just sold it for about, final price undisclosed, about $2.25 million. And that's about an 18 to 24 month increase, where I believe it's gone up 75% with those two things, the increased market and the addition of the new zone that's west of East Boundary Road now.
Extraordinary. Well,
east of East Boundary Road.
They are gains never seen before, but I guess if you're talking about a 15% increase, then again, to put it in context, people have made hundreds of thousands of dollars when they've got that rezoning as well, just by coincidence or accident, unless they had the foresight.
So a standout result there in Barrani Street.
Absolutely. 70 McKinnon Road, I did get to that auction, had a lot of fun there, and your wonderful agent, Jan Dosen, who is involved in many of these prestige sales. She's become a bit of a prestige sales specialist. She had a lot of fun there at 70 McKinnon Road, which was hugely contested. 5 bidders sold for $2,309,500.
Yes, the half's very important, Gary. You always got to get every dollar that you can. But
can't forget it.
McKinnon Jan is a bit of a McKinnon icon because she lives in McKinnon, lives and breathes that market, and has a strong, input into the local community. So a really standout result of a nice single level home. But again, now selling well over $2 million is the norm in McKinnon outside of the zone.
24A Draper Street, Ormond, another one to wrap up very quickly. We're doing so many great sales in Ormond, and Ormond seems to be an area where we've got the Murrumbina, Carnegie, then we've got Bentleigh, and we've kind of got the Bayside office all kind of hovering around
all around
nice
it, aren't we?
Circle.
We're surrounding it. But
absolutely.
A really beautiful property in the McKinnon Secondary School Zone. We had a standout offer prior to the auction. Called back the file as we always do, Gary, and found another 2 buyers.
Excellent.
And pushed it significantly above the price that the owner would have taken. That came first before the auction. So another standout Ormond McKinnon Zone sale there.
Last auction to review very quickly was Allfrey Street. You were doing a lot of work in East Brighton.
Yes.
And this was another successful result. How many bidders did you have for this property?
So we ended up having 3 bidders, again, prior to the auction, where we had a buyer come forward with a very significant premium over the asking range, which the owners wanted to put in play. Again, we diligently went through the file, found there was a few other buyers and had a negotiation before. But congratulations to the vendors there who had a beautiful home. And I mean, some of these homes are now nearing, this was just under $3 million. In Brighton East, no big deal anymore, and we're very lucky to be entrusted with some of the best homes in that zone.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the homes we have been entrusted. Before we review some of these sales, Leon, the agreement is still, the ink is still wet on the agreement because I was just there the other night. There's no photos, there's no signage, there's no anything, but I did get to meet with you and the vendor at Luckens Road. What a great house this is.
Yeah, we're looking forward to marketing this one. We'll probably come to the market just after the Easter break, but a really nice traditional family home with a large backyard and north-facing rear on a good parcel of land and a really nice family-friendly street. So that's coming up to you soon at 43 Luckens Road.
Road. Okay, that's a special, just a special Bentleigh Report preview. No one else has heard about this property yet, so you're the first. Let's talk quickly about some of the sales. We've got 38 Barrington Street, Bentleigh East. That one's coming up. What a great looking home this is.
33 Barrington. It's coming to the auction this Saturday. It's 33. Been really, 33.
Wear my glasses. Go on.
It's been really well received. A really good family home in the McKinnon zone on a nice parcel of north-facing land. And not to say we don't like south-facing blocks, Gary, but I find the north-facing blocks are just a little bit more desired because they come up less often. So 33 Barrington Street this Saturday at 11:30 will be a terrific auction.
Impressive property, Leon. Great address, Station Avenue, McKinnon. What a fine-looking residence this is.
Yeah, look, if you want to get into this zone, Gary, you don't have $2 million, but you do need 3 bedrooms. This is a property to have a look at because it's 3 bedrooms, it's 2 bathrooms, it's got a sparklingly, beautifully renovated kitchen. It's within walking distance of the main campus. It's within walking distance to the McKinnon station and the new improving shops. So if you're in the low ones and you want to get in that zone, whether to live or an investment, 1 at 16 Station Avenue, definitely have a look at that.
Fabulous unit in Murray Road. That's a great spot too.
And if you have a little bit less money than that and also want to get into the zone and you only need 2 bedrooms, this is a terrific. This is not something you'll see often, Gary, because it's a villa unit, which were mostly built in the 50s and 60s and maybe 70s. This is a 10-year-old unit.
Wow.
I don't believe there's been another sale since the development was built. This is the first one, so it shows you how good it is, that it's only 1 out of the 6 has been sold since the development was finished 10, 11 years ago. And if you're in a budget somewhere in the 700 to 800 range, this is a terrific way to get into the McKinnon zone.
Well, it looks like we've got a very, very affordable snap purchase of this property, Centre Road in Bentleigh East.
Yeah, and the only reason I want to bring this up, Gary, is I've heard that there's been a bit of an overcorrection of people making the rural move, making the move out to the country because of COVID. And what's now, as the market's opening up, we're hearing they're going, well, if I want to go to the football on a Friday night, I'm going to be driving home in the middle of the night.
2 hours or whatever.
If I want to see my grandkids on the weekend, I have to get a hotel room because I can't stay with the kids. The house isn't big enough. So I think there's going to be a bit of a resurgence of modern 1 and 2 bedders that can be used as a part-time city pad, where they could stay there over the weekend and make their way back to their rural property or their regional property once they're done. And this, for me, is a no-brainer. It's lock-up. No maintenance, and you walk outside, you've got the village of East Bentleigh there near Centre Road and East Boundary Road, and this is going to be bought probably under $500,000, which I think is a great investment. And also, if you have moved regional, something to have a look at.
I love the terrace, balcony terrace here. It's also wonderful. Let's finish off with this one in Wheatley Road, Ormond. Not yet sold, for private sale. Great value, $1,695,000. Buys you this great looking home on a very, very generous parcel of land.
Very generous, Gary, and it gets you into the McKinnon Secondary School zone. And I think it's super affordable. And I think if you're looking to do a renovation, if you're looking to park your money into something that is absolutely likely to increase because it's in that zone and it has that massive land component, 1695, I'm thinking it may not be around by the time this hits the air,
Maybe
but
not.
if it is, 146 Wheatley Road, Ormond, have a look at it. I think it's really good buying.
Over 700 square metres of land. That's a very generous allotment. Look, that's a big wrap on the Bentleigh Report. It's good to be back with you, Leon.
It is, Gary.
Lots of exciting things happen. The business has grown. We've got some more people on board now. We'll talk about that maybe in our next episode. But we are here to service you, to help you, whether you're tenant, landlord, buyer or seller. We're here to look after and cater for all of your Bentleigh and surrounds needs from the Bentleigh man himself, Leon Guzenfeder, and his team, with the assistance and aid of all of our other officers, because it's all hands on deck at Gary Peer and Associates. We'll continue to bring you the news. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Leon Guzenfeder.
We will see you next time. Thank you.